So yeah, so as far as me, I think I've just been cheating way too much. I've been getting some pantry food, a little bit of pantry food from here and there. And they don't really give you like healthy, like they give you white, canned stuff and white stuff. I try to control myself a lot. It's not like if I've gone back to eating candy bars and stuff, but I do feel that maybe I cheat too much. Been eating the pantry food, which is whites. Like I love the cornflakes and Rice Krispies. I haven't bought in years, but I've been getting it for free, and I love it. And even though they don't have sugar at it, it's still made from white flour and stuff. Or, well, cornflakes should have been made from corn flour. And some people say that that's still good for you, but it's still starchy, it's still white. And I gained like another 10 pounds. And I sat down with my husband, and I said, maybe I should go ahead and get the weight loss surgery, because I just don't know what else to do. And then, and what kind of made me feel, what brought me to that point was my leg slipped. My husband, he used this concentrated liquid to mop the floor in the bathroom, and I told him you have to mix it with water, but he doesn't listen. You know how men are. And I kind of slipped, and my leg went all the way over, and I have arthritis on my head, and my leg was really hurting me. I'm like, it shouldn't hurt me this much. It was like hurting me for a week or two, and then finally I tried to go up the stairs, and I felt this horrendous pain. And the next day my hip popped. It popped out. That was excruciating. And then somehow it just like popped right back in. And it was hurting me so bad for like a couple of weeks. And after that, oh my goodness, I could barely walk. But I noticed that even though I could barely walk because I couldn't have pressure on it, I noticed that my hip was feeling a little bit better, as if whatever was going on before corrected itself. And I was in so much pain, and I spent an hour and a half waiting for my son, because he only has one class now. For 2 days out of the week, he only has one class instead of two. So I wind up going to the library reading, and a couple of people suggested, why don't I just walk around his school? It's going to take me a while to get to that point, and I was thinking about it, saying that is a good idea, and then I was like, but does that mean I'm going to be sweaty? I can only walk for up to half an hour, like 15 minutes one way and back for now, and I'm going to be all sweaty and nasty, and then sit and wait for the other hour for him, and then he winds up getting out within 45 minutes for this particular class, so it just doesn't make sense for me to go home, because by the time I get home, he's going to call me and say it's time to go get him. It's like that, because I'm not close to the school. So I've been reading a lot, and so I'm not exercising. I can't anyway after I pop my hip, and I put on another 10 pounds, and I was like at the point that I sat with my husband. I woke up with really, really bad chest pains, and usually my heart will palpitate and then go back to normal. But this pain was my whole back of my chest, my whole front of my chest, going down into the abdominal area, going up into my neck. And I looked it up, and that is a sign of a heart attack. So, I was telling my husband, should we go this was like in the middle of the night, and he's like, but you go there and nothing gets done and nothing gets resolved, and you wind up with a $2,000 bill or more. And last time it was a $15,000 bill, so time before that was $7,000. So he was like, "Is it really worth it?" So what I think I popped, a high blood pressure pill, and then I went to bed to try and see. I said, well, maybe I could just sleep this off and it'll go away, but it didn't go away. When I woke up in the mornings, I barely got any sleep because of the pain, but I don't take blood pressure medicine. I've said this before. It makes me sick. They have horrible side effects, and it doesn't lower my blood pressure, so what's the point? So I called up the doctor, or I was looking for a new doctor, because the old PCP she was an idiot for what she did to me. That was just really wrong and unprofessional. So I had to find a new PCP that goes with my insurance. And I found one that's in my neighborhood, and I called them up, and I said, look, I need to make an appointment. I've been having chest pains. And she said, no, 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 no. You need to go to the emergency room right now. So this was around 11 o'clock in the morning. I had to take my son to school. So I said, well, you know what I'll do? There's a hospital right next to his school. I'll just drop him off at school. I'll go to the hospital. If I need to be hospitalized, they usually have somewhere where a family member could sleep. A chair, a recliner, or a sofa in the room where your family member can sleep. So I decided to do that. I said, look, we'll drop him off at school, and then we'll go to the emergency room. Oh my goodness, that was horrible, because you could die in the emergency room. They said, I wish I just would have went at 3 o'clock in the morning. They said that it's been crazy all day. They didn't have any beds, and yet they were taking people ahead of me, and I was, now I'm stressing out, because I don't know if you remember, my cardiologist said my high blood pressure is due to stress. Because I am eating right as best as I can. It's not like I don't even eat meat. I don't put salt in my food. And after asking me 100 questions, he says, you are just really stressed out. You're severely stressed out, and that's why your blood pressure is so high. So, because he took a picture of my heart, he tested it, he did a sonogram, it was pumping fine. So anyway, so here I am in the hospital now, and again, like I said, I gained 10 pounds. I'm getting all the symptoms back. I'm starting to feel that infection that I had before in the skin. I'm just starting to feel all the stuff that I felt before when I found that I was diabetic. So I wish I would have went at 3, because I went at 1:30. It was packed out. They were taking a bunch of people ahead of me, and I'm getting more stressed out. So the pain's getting worse. The pain is spreading higher and higher up into my neck. And I told them, what is going on? And they said, well, you have 4 people ahead of you, yet 12 people were called. And they said, well, the problem is that you need to stay. You need to stay. You need to be in a bed, and you need to really be looked at. These other people have simple things, minor things that are in and out. So I'm getting frustrated. They called me to register me, taking my insurance, telling me I have like a $250 copay, and am I going to pay cash, charge, or check? And I said, I'm not paying nothing. I said, you better bill me, because I was ready to leave. I'm like, they think they're going to bill me? I was ready to leave. And this woman, I hear a loud thud, and one woman fell on her face and knocked herself out. And my heart was just palpitating. I was so mad. By this time, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And what wound up happening was, that was the day that my son only had his hour and a half, which is usually 45-minute class. What wound up happening is, I was going to take him at 1:30. Now I remember, I was going to take him at 1:30, and at 12 o'clock, he said to me, Mom, no. I will call the teacher. He's allowed 3 excused absences. He's only been absent once. I'll call the teacher and I'll tell her, look, the stuff that you need me to do, I can work from home, but my mom's going to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So I wound up actually leaving at about 12:30, not 1:30. So, during my husband's lunchtime. So it was already by 5 o'clock now. So it wasn't like anyone needed to bring my husband home. And I was getting frustrated, and I was getting more stressed out, and the pains are getting worse. And they're like, well, we're sorry, we don't have beds for you. I said, look, put me in a wheelchair. I don't care if the doctor checks me out from a wheelchair. Just wheel me back there and let the doctor see me. Well, we can't do that, And so this woman that got knocked out, everybody thought she was dead. Everybody's freaking out. They came out, and she woke up, and she starts crying her face off. They had to put her in a neck brace, lay her on one of those stretchers, completely flat and strapped in. Oh my goodness. So I think about within an hour, they called me after that incident, because I was really thinking about leaving, but my pains were getting worse and worse and worse. And I was like, I'll just go to one of the hospitals near me, which I wish I would have done. I should have done, because after I get seen by the doctor, they said, I'd really like you to stay overnight for observation, but you're going to have to stay in the emergency room. I said, excuse me? You think you're sending me back out there? You're crazy. No. This is considered the emergency room. The bed was like a ton of bricks. It was horrible. She says, they're going to bring you to the observation room, but we just don't have any beds there either. I was like getting frustrated. She says, look, they'll get you there by morning, she said, but I really suggest you have tests done. You really need to be looked at. And she says, you could leave against my advice, but you better see a doctor and have them do all the testing. But the doctor didn't want to see me. She wanted me to go straight to the emergency room. So me and my husband, at first I was like, no, no, no. Then me and my husband talked it over and said, look, let's just do this. Let's just get this over with. Let's just make sure what's wrong with you first. So I see a nurse, and I said, look, I need a bath. I need to take a shower. We don't have showers here. Well, when you get me to the observation room, will you give me a shower? They don't have showers there either. But I promise you, I told them to let you go to the shower area, which is in where the wards are, or where all the permanent beds are for people who are actually staying in the hospital. So it's already getting late. It's already like 10 o'clock. I tell my husband, or 9 o'clock. So I said, look, go home, because he goes to sleep early. I call him an old man because he goes to sleep so early. He works hard, so I understand that. So I said, you better go home. I don't want you driving and falling asleep at the wheel. I'll be okay. So within an hour, or maybe an hour or two, they get me a bed. I thought I was going to be in that. So I thought I was going to be in that ton of bricks all night. I even re-hurt my hip trying to climb into that bed. It was horrible. Finally, someone gets me. Then that nurse left. They get me about, I think it was before midnight, like 11ish. And all I want to do is take a shower. And they told me no. And I said, look, but the nurse told me you guys can bring me to a shower area. Oh no, we don't know who told you that. So they give me towels and tell me to wash up in the bathroom. And with my panties, it's hard for me to reach. At home, I have a shower head because I like to be thorough. So she gives me these two big towels. She said, clean yourself cowboy style. So I'm making sure that I can hold it from the back, hold it from the front, and make sure I'm cleaning myself good. They gave me babies, baby wash and all of that. And I washed the important areas. And, they give me, I was so mad. I had a bag to bring, and I didn't bring it because I thought my husband was going to pick up my son, pick up my daughter, let her sleep with me. But no, you can't do that either. They said, no, we don't do that here unless you can get a private room. And I'm telling you right now, you're not getting one because there's no beds available. So I was so mad. I did all that for nothing. I could have been close to my house. I was so mad. But anyway, I hadn't eaten, I hadn't showered, and something was telling me to shower before I left. I said, oh no, I'll be able to shower there tonight. I like taking my showers at night before I go to bed. I can't sleep if I'm not clean. So they let me wash up. I try to go to sleep. At least I have my phone and my charger. And the other night, TV on all night, and I could not sleep. I'm a very light sleeper. And my curtain wouldn't close all the way so I could see the lights coming in. And I couldn't sleep. So I called the nurse. Now I'm getting stressed out again. Because they gave me something for my high blood pressure. They said I had a UTI. I didn't know I had. That would explain why my kidneys were hurting me. And they gave me this big giant horse pill. And they gave me something for my high blood pressure. They had given me a sandwich. Actually, in the emergency room, they gave me like a sandwich and a little thing of water. And I threw out the cheese, and it was very salty, but I was hungry. I hadn't eaten all day. So I had like a half a sandwich and a little thing of water and sugar-free Jell-O. But I really hadn't eaten all day, and I was hungry, and I called the nurse. I said, look, I'm not going to sleep. I haven't slept since the night before because of my chest pain. Can I get something to help me sleep? I'm not going to be able to sleep with all this noise. Oh, we can't do that. The doctor went home. We can't bother him. What is up with these hospitals? I've been in the hospital in North Carolina, in New York. There's a doctor working at night, How in the world are you just going to let the doctor go home with patients? And I said, well, could you at least give me something for chest pain? Oh, the doctor didn't give us anything. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like you could just die in this place. And so they come back in. They say, look, here's an aspirin for your heart and here's Tylenol for your pain, and see if that helps. Nope, I could not get the bed in the observation room was better, but it was still sleeping like bricks on bricks. For my back and all that, they did accommodate me with like 7 pillows, thank God, and a couple of blankets. And so I did the best that I could. and I would be in so much pain, and I'm so uncomfortable, and I can't control the bed going up and down. And they said that they would try and get me a bed from upstairs, but they said no way, we don't have any beds available. So I think I nodded off once or twice, but I was completely awake. Where like where you're in a twilight sleep, where you're half asleep. I was aware of everything that's going on, but my body's still like kind of sleeping, and I think. So I got maybe between 3 and 4. I got that happened, and then the nurse comes in to take my blood again, and I said to the nurse, "Why are you doing this now? I just woken up anyway, but why are you doing this now?" I said, "You could do that in the morning, because I'm supposed to." She got like this little attitude with me. I'm like, "Isn't it supposed to be like 6 hours?" "Well, they took your blood at 8, and it's almost 4, so let's just do that." I was like, "Whatever." Oh my goodness. I tell these people, no matter how many times I tell them, look, you can never find my vein in my arm. I got black and blues all over me. Still, this was a week ago. I said, please just take it from my hand. "Oh, we don't like to do that. The vein is so small. It might clot, blah, blah, blah." She is a freaking brute. She's poking me and poking me and poking me because my veins move around and she couldn't get it. And she says, "Well, if you hold still." I'm like, "But you're hurting me." They finally get blood out, and I think I took like little cat naps here and there where I was in a twilight. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm starving, and they gave me after when they came in to give me the heart pill, the aspirin and the Tylenol, they gave me crackers, graham crackers, and they didn't care about my diabetes right now. They were concerned about my blood pressure, so they wouldn't give me anything with salt. Graham crackers has a sugar, but only a little bit. So they gave me that with sugar-free Jello again and some water. And so I was like munching on that all night. So morning comes and I'm starving. And so at 6 o'clock, she said the breakfast comes at 6:30. I said, "But I didn't order any breakfast. Are you sure they'll give me food?" Because I've experienced where if you didn't order any food, you don't get no food. While everybody else around me was eating these delicious hot meals, I had like potato salad. Cold potato salad was disgusting. So I didn't want to do that again. No. We have you on a heart healthy diet, so someone will bring you food. The nurse comes in and says, "You can't eat till they do the tests on you." I said, "Excuse me? They told me the doctor might not come till the afternoon. You're going to leave me starving all day? Are you serious? I haven't eaten." And so she says, "Well, I don't want you to be mad at me. Let me find out what time the doctor's coming. He said he's coming at 9. Are you sure?" Because they say that and then I still don't see them. So she's like, "Let me check." And she says, "Well, he might not get here at 9, so here's some more crackers and sugar-free Jello." I was like, "Well, thank you." I only had half of it. And thank goodness he came at 9:30, and they went to take the test, and they brought me my hot meal, and I can't eat it till after the test. So they take me upstairs, and they were telling me they're going to put you on a treadmill. I was like, okay, that's usually what I do. I could do that, handle that for 10 minutes. And then they said, that's weird because usually they just shoot you with nuclear medicine. I'm like, nuclear medicine? I'm like, are you going to kill me? Am I going to die? I said, no, it's like when they take an x-ray. It's, the dosage is not going to kill you. I was like, oh my goodness. So I go upstairs, and sure enough, the treadmill, what they wanted to do was put the treadmill on an incline. And with my hip, there was no way I was going to do that. It's not going to happen. So they said that we're going to have to shoot you with the medicine. And the doctor comes in, and he's like, I'm taking vitamins. I take fish oil, I take garlic, and I take potassium. It comes with the fiber, so that's good. And I said, I take A through E, vitamin, cinnamon, all that. And so the doctor's like, your blood pressure is like 200 or 100. They were able to get it down to 150 over 80, I think. And so they really wanted to be like under 140 and like, I think under 70. He tells me, I'm going to have to give you medicine, blah, blah, blah. And I told him that there's only one medicine that works. And it was too expensive. I couldn't afford it. And my insurance company didn't want to pay for it. And so he's giving me this song and dance that like came from left field as to why he couldn't do that. He was just actually talking craziness at this point. I don't know what he was talking about, saying that he would have to lie for me to get it. I didn't ask him for all of that. So he's like, I said, just give me something in the family of, I think it's called Caterkin or Tacurtin or something, Turketin, something like that. And he's, yeah. I'm gonna give you losartan. I said, that sounds familiar. I think I already have that. It made me sick. He said, yeah, with hydrochlorochloride. I said, oh, no, I know I had, no, ain't gonna happen. I said, I'm not taking this stuff. It makes me sick. I said, I get stomach pains. I get joint pain, because that's one of the side effects is joint pain, and you can't be, you're like a vampire. You have to be in the dark all the time, because any light hurts your eyes. No, I'm not doing that. And so he says, well, he gave me the losartan without the hydrochlorochloride. I was like, okay, but I think I have this. So they shoot my heart with this thing, and they made me sign a paper telling me what the side effects were going to be, but they would pass within 2 minutes. I thought I was going to die. This stuff, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like my whole body was on fire. Oh my goodness. It was horrible, horrible. I had a pounding headache, which they said was going to happen, but they weren't allowed to give me anything. Unbelievable. So I said, well, can I go downstairs and eat now? No, because we still have to take x-rays of your heart, and because they were taking pictures of my heart while they did that medicine so they could see my heart. And they had to wait an hour. Meanwhile, my food must be frozen by now. They couldn't give me anything for the headache, and finally, after 45 minutes, they said, we can give you coffee. I said, but I thought you're not supposed to give coffee to people with heart problems. And they said, they asked the doctor to give permission to take away my headache, and so I had coffee, no sugar, a little bit of cream, and they go to take my x-rays. Oh my goodness, that was insane. The way that they strap you down, that was crazy. It's this little tiny, like, skinny thing that you're putting your whole body on. It's just really crazy, and they strap you in, and you're going through the tube. And it was a little bit scary because you're not allowed to move, and it takes like about 5 minutes. I think they said 5 or 6 minutes. I was literally counting the seconds because I could not move, and it was uncomfortable. And they said, if you move, we got to do it again. So I'm just like stiff as a board for like counting the seconds until finally it was all over. And they finally, that coffee, since I hadn't eaten for 2 days, I couldn't even get downstairs to my food because I was in the bathroom. It was just horrible. Oh my goodness, what an experience. Finally, after I'm through, the doctor brings me down and my food is freezing, but it was lunchtime. So they asked me what I want. And then again, they're like busy. They're telling me to call, someone's going to call me back in 5 minutes. Took about 20 minutes before I finally got a hold of someone. And they offered me a lot of food, and I'm like, can I even have that? Because they're worried about my heart. So they said, well, you're on a heart healthy diet. I said, well, I'm also on a diabetic diet. I don't want to make my diabetes go up. And so they brought me a lot of food, and as soon as my hot food comes, the nurse walks in and says, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with your heart. Probably had gas. You can leave now. I was like, that was a lot of pain for gas. And she's like, well, aren't you happy? Don't you want to go home? I said, oh, yeah, because I want to take a shower. Because I told them that if I get a room, they better take me to a shower first, or I'm walking out of the hospital. If they wanted me, because they were thinking of keeping me overnight, but being admitted to, if there was something wrong with my heart. And they said there was nothing wrong with my heart. Even my blood sugar is good. Like I told you, it's still down. So my blood sugar is doing great. My heart's doing great. The high blood pressure couldn't be controlled. Even after they did all of that, from the stress of what they did to me, they got me down to 150 over 80. It shot right up to like 170 over 90. So I just have problems with my blood pressure. And then they said, oh, did the doctor give you nitro pills? I said, no. Oh, well, we have it here. You're supposed to get nitro pills, but forget it. Just take aspirin and take the losartan. So I haven't even gone to get it because I came home, I checked my stash, and sure enough, I had a losartan, but it was losartan with the hydrochlorochlorine or chlorozide. So I have to find out. I have to take it to, I have to go to the pharmacy next week anyway for my kids. So I'm going to ask them, does this have hydrochlorochloride? Because if it does, I don't want it. So basically, I had to take a baby aspirin every night to keep my blood flow, slow it down so it's not beating, making my heart go so fast. And, just try to stay on a diet again. So, I've been trying, but I'm telling you, I'm very, very frustrated here. And the funny thing that happened is that the pharmacist came to see me in the hospital, and the pharmacist told me getting your gallbladder out is not the solution because it creates other problems with your digestive system, and she regretted getting her gallbladder out. Then, the whole time I was there was another lady that came a little bit before me, who was seeing a little bit before me, and I was listening to everything that was going on. She had the weight loss surgery, and she has had complication after complication after complication. She has had surgery, past surgery, and more surgery. And with each surgery, whatever she's going through gets worse and worse. And she was arguing with the doctor because she was in so much pain, and the doctor told her there's nothing wrong with her, that they cannot do another surgery on her, that they don't know why she's having all that pain, but whatever they're going to do to her is just going to make things more complicated. And so she says, "You mean I have to live with pain for the rest of my life?" He said, "Pretty much, because we can't do any more surgeries on you. It's just going to create more problems." And it was funny because I was just telling my husband, I'm thinking about doing this weight loss surgery because I'm just gaining weight. I look at food and I gain weight. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be walking anytime soon. So, listening to this woman, it was like confirming to me, because my gallbladder's been fine, thank God. I've been taking, I forget to take the fiber, but trying to stay away from, even more so, trying to stay away from grease, even more so before. I mean, I hadn't cooked fried foods in like 25 years, but if we went out, I might have something like a chicken wing or whatever. So this even more so, just trying even harder to do what I got to do for my gallbladder. I've not had an incident since that time in October. So, I guess I must be doing something right. And so, after listening to that woman, I mean, she has had the surgery like 3 or 4 years ago, and she's been in and out of the hospital since. And this is why my husband doesn't want me to do it, because I'm the type of person that if things have side effects and stuff, it's going to happen to me. And he was afraid it would cause more complications. And I don't know if you've heard, but people have died after the surgery. So, that kind of confirmed to me that I don't need my gallbladder out right now. I'm doing well. My diabetes is still under control. It's just this high blood pressure, and I'm just under a lot of stress. I especially since school started, the days that I'm home, I'm out 4 days a week because of that. I drive him half an hour traffic, half an hour home. Then I might have to run some errands in between. I do that. I was doing that 4 days a week, and then he couldn't handle his math teacher. He got the worst math teacher in history. I don't know why he even has a job there. And he had to quit math. So now once a week I have to stay out there. I usually go to Dunkin' Donuts, and no, I don't eat the donuts. I don't really like donuts. Is not really my thing. I just get a large coffee, no sugar. I get the flavored coffees, pistachio, which from what I understand, that already has some sugar in it. I tell them, I'm not supposed to have cream, but I tell them put a lot of cream in it because or else it tastes very bitter. And that's it. I don't put any sugar in it. So I might have a large coffee, sit there for an hour and a half. I might make some phone calls that I need to do. I'll read, and I've been doing a lot of reading and crocheting. There's a library right there across the street. I sit in the library, I read, I crochet. And so twice a week I'm there for an hour, between an hour and a half. Usually it's not that long. It just doesn't make sense for me to go back because he's out in 45 minutes sometimes. So, that's what I'm doing. And then the other 2 days I come home, I do paperwork. It's always one thing after another I have to do paperwork for. And then the spring break that we had, which was delicious to me because I was able to rest from the stress of driving constantly. I was doing so much paperwork, and I was cleaning up my house, doing a really good thorough cleaning. I didn't even think about trying to walk again. So that's just how it's been for me. It's like that seems to be the last thing on my mind. I feel like I'm too tired. I don't have time, and that's just not happening. So, now, again, even more so, what I have to do is look at food like I did when I first came out of the hospital. That it meant death to me, and I need to start looking at food that way again. So I've been basically, since I got out of the hospital, I've been staying away from white. The only thing I'm weak with is Krispy Kreme. We go there maybe once a month, and I always say I'm just gonna have one donut. And I'm really not crazy about the donut, but it is hot. Just melts in your mouth, man. Those hot Krispy Kremes. So I usually do wind up having more if nobody eats it up within a day. I usually have another one that night and then one the next day. But basically that's what I'm trying to do. So when I do get pantry food, I just try to look at it as I'm not eating that because that equals death, and that's how I'm trying to look at it again. And maybe when school's out, maybe I can start walking again, or go to the pool or something. But that's what I'm trying to do, and there's just no way anyone else could. My husband works. He can't be driving. And as a matter of fact, that day when he came in after the nurse told me I could go home, my husband had just dropped off my son to school, and he came right to get me, to visit me. And my daughter came with 2 suitcases. I feel so bad because she has a bad back. My husband doesn't think sometimes, and he didn't help her. It's just men. Their brain damage, man. I don't know. And poor things, they couldn't find parking. They had to park far away and walk. And my poor daughter's with 2, so hers and mine, thinking she's going to stay with me because I thought I was going to be admitted, because of the pain. And my husband came. I was just so happy to see him. I was just so happy to go home. I didn't even get to eat. So what I did was I tried to I said, do you have any plastic containers? No, I just tried to package up as much as I could and whatever. I think they gave me a plastic bag to bring it home because I know they're going to charge me for that. And the only thing I forgot was I had a big giant ice water, man. I forgot it. Oh, I love ice cold water. It's and coffee is my favorite drinks. So anyway, I forgot all of that. But when I got home, all I did was go to bed. We didn't have to pick up my son for another, I think it was an hour and a half or so. I laid down in that bed, and my dogs were so happy to see me, they did not let me sleep. They were just sucking my face for a whole hour. I couldn't get them off of me. I was so tired. Finally, I fall asleep, and I don't know what woke me up. The dog barked or something half an hour later, and I couldn't even talk straight. I could not even talk straight. Whatever they shot me up with, now I know why cancer patients lose their minds. I couldn't even talk. I was like, trying to talk. What I want to know is what time it was because we had to pick up my son. It took me like 5 minutes to ask, and they said, Mom, it's like 4:35. I'm like, we gotta get Steven. So I'm dragging myself. I told my husband, you're driving. He stayed home with me. He worked from home sometimes, and we drove over there, and I said, look, I'm not cooking dinner. There's no way. So we went to go get some Moe's, where you make burritos for you, and come home, and I said to him, you want to watch some TV together? He said, sure. And I stood up for 5 minutes trying to watch TV. I couldn't do it. I went to bed. So I went to bed at about maybe 9. I don't usually 9, maybe between 9 and 10. I don't go to bed that early because I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I won't be able to go back to sleep. I usually go to bed between 11 and 12. So I think it was 9. I said, look, I can't do this. I slept from 9 o'clock at night until 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock the next day. I never sleep like that. Never. And for like 3 days, I was very disoriented after they shot up my heart with that nuclear crap. And I'm hoping to God that nuclear crap didn't give me cancer. I think if I had cancer, I wouldn't do any of that stuff because that stuff kills you faster than the cancer. So I was disoriented for about 3 days. I could barely remember my own name. But thank God this happened. I was home on Friday. So I slept until, like I said, about 10. So I had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to recuperate, and I wanted my brother to come on Sunday because I want to see the last episode of The Walking Dead with him. So Saturday I spent it cleaning on and off, getting my energy to clean, and it didn't need that much cleaning the house, but whatever little bit needed to be done, me and the kids did it. And so Sunday I made a sugar-free cake. The frosting wasn't sugar-free, but the cake itself was. I got some macadamia nuts. I crushed them, and I put them in the yellow sugar-free cake. Then I got some white chocolate chips and put it on the frosting and made my own white chocolate macadamia nut cake. I pretty much took a lot of the frosting off when I ate it, and I just really wanted my brother to come, and he felt bad. He's like, I don't know if I should come. You should rest, blah blah. And I probably should have, because came Monday I felt like I was gonna die. So this week I've just been trying to take it easy. I drive my son. So Monday I rested. Tuesday I had an appointment for my daughter. Wednesday I rested, but at the library. And then yesterday I had a few appointments as well. I had to get up early in the morning, take my husband to some meeting he had up in Northwest Houston. And then came home and I just rested until it was time to pick up my son. I had to drop my daughter off at therapy, and but my husband came home. Someone else drove him home. Thank God I didn't have to go back out there. And so yeah, and so I've been today I'm just resting. I'm doing the video, but I'm resting. And so yeah, so just keep me in your prayers, because I don't know how to live a stress-free life. I just have so many things that need to be done, and they're not going to do themselves. My husband can't keep taking off from work to drive my son and pick him up. My husband doesn't get home sometimes till 6:30. My son gets out at 5 on 2 days a week, and then he gets out at 3 2 days a week. My husband can't keep taking off from work. It's an hour there, hour back. When is he going to, he needs to eat, so my daughter's still going to the chiropractor and to therapy. Next week I have an appointment for the psychiatrist to pick up their then I have to go back and pick up their meds. Out, again, driving far away. Her chiropractor's far away because nobody here would take the Medicaid. So, I just don't know how to not live a stress-free life. I'm just trying more than ever right now just to take it easy. They told me that just take things easy, don't lift heavy objects, they told me try yoga. I wouldn't even fit in the yoga pants, but I don't know, it's a thought, I don't know. But I really I like walking. I'm so tired, so tired and so busy, running errands, driving, appointments. I just don't know how to have a stress-free life. So anyway, all right, I just want to tell you thank you, for all your well wishes, and just keep praying for me. If it's not one thing, it's another with me. But my family is what keeps me going. I have something to live for. My husband needs me. My husband says he came home in such a depression. He was in a deep depression. I felt so bad because he thought I was going to die or something from my heart. And my kids need me. My son needs me to take him to school and bring him home, and my daughter needs me to take her to her appointments, and so just pray for me, and just thank you for your well wishes, and I will see you next week with Twilight Glow. Okay.